We're honored to be here today at the Thayer Coggin showroom, here with none other than Royale Wiggin. Thank you for having us today.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thought we could come over here and talk some about your father, Thayer Coggin, the history behind it. You know, certainly talk about Milo and the influence he had on the designs through this company. So your father had an interesting start there in high school with furniture?
He did. He learned how to make furniture in shop class in high school and really just absolutely loved it. And then got shipped off for World War II and learned a lot of different other things and came back home and actually went to Tomlinson Furniture and applied for a job. Okay. And thankfully they did not hire him. So he had to come back home and learn how to make what he called jackknife sleeper sofas in his mother's garage. His brother actually joined him in the business. My dad was a great problem solver and sort of a self-taught engineer, so anything that Milo could draw, my dad could build it. Milo Baughman came to High Point in 1953, where he had these really thin line, very unusual pieces of furniture, and he went all around town showing his designs to people in High Point. They just didn't understand them. He was getting ready to leave town, and a guy that my dad went to high school with said, you know what, Thayer Coggin's looking for something different to do. You ought to go down and talk to him. They got together. Milo had these beautiful renderings that he had done, and he spread them out on the floor in the factory.
He goes, well, it'd be okay if I just spread them out on the floor. And Thayer said, well, yeah, I guess so. And he said, next thing I know, he's got these full-scale blueprint drawings all over the factory floor. He said, have you got any Scotch tape? He said, yeah, I got some Scotch tape. He said, you mind if I taped a few of them to the wall? He said, yeah, sure, fine. He said, I'm sitting there going, what in the world is this guy doing? And he said, but I have never seen anybody make such a passionate pitch. He said, I'm sitting there with my mouth open. He said, I think Milo, it took about an hour as best I can remember. He said, I think he took 3 breaths. He looks at me and he says, well, that's my story, Thayer. What do you think? And Thayer said, Milo, I'm not sure I understand it, but I'd like to give it a try. So the two of them literally shook hands in February 1953, had a 50-year relationship with a handshake, never had a written contract. You've got my bond, you've got my word, and they trusted each other.
It's a rare but American story.
True American story.
Yeah.
Thayer was a consummate American entrepreneur. In the 50s and 60s, they were like the Beatles. Every design he did or every song that the Beatles wrote was a hit. I mean, it was crazy what was going on. I mean, back in the heyday, there were this showroom, in our showroom, as you see, I mean, there were people lined up that didn't even buy from Thayer Coggin. They actually had fire marshals out here controlling the crowds because they would say, I just got to come out there and see what those crazy guys have done this time.
But they were really good friends, and you know, strangely, they passed away within 3 months of each other, too.
So you do all the production here for the most part?
We do.
A lot of the crafting is done here. And
we have the best craftspeople. We really do. We wouldn't be here without them. There's just this wonderful energy out there in the workshop. Right. When you see people crafting furniture, just to see the workers.
To it.
Well, that's what it's really all about. You know, we're building boutique furniture to people's individual specifications every day. So it's a very hands-on operation, and you've got to have people that really care about what they do.
Been doing it 38 years.
We're very happy to be a kind of a unique operation in High Point. Well, in the world, really.
Yeah, I'd say so, and build a great legacy for the name of the company.
Thank you. Yeah. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, hats off to you for that.
Well, it's a lifestyle and it's a love. It really is.
Yeah, dedication.
Well, it's just right.
So we got the call that you had items coming from Thayer's home that we have coming up for the auction, are a lot of Milo designs, and some of those are even custom designs, right? Like the dining table?
Yes. Here's the dining table that Milo did. That was all custom. There's only one of them.
That's the one.
And also the chairs here that go with the shelter sofa, you have those as well. Talk about comfortable chairs. That was one of my father's favorite. Now he didn't sit down very often, but he really enjoyed sitting in those chairs.
Yeah, well, that says something there.
These were actually made from a high gloss Italian laminate.
Yeah, they held up really well.
Yes.
The home was a very important modern design in this area. Do you remember the architect of the house?
Yes, actually, Fred Babcock, and of course, you know, we're Southerners, we all have interesting stories about things. Milo was living in Salt Lake City at the time. Fred Babcock is a very wonderful person and architect in Salt Lake City. He was actually designing a home for Robert Redford out at Sundance. And of course, they had to have Thayer Coggin, Milo Baughman furniture for their home, so they flew out here one day. Well, they came on a Monday, and of course the country club was closed, in which my mother was having a meltdown about because she was trying to figure out how in the world she was going to have lunch for them.
Wow.
The Redfords actually sat right there at that table and had lunch at,
What a cool
at the
memory.
house. They were really nice people.
Well, Royal, thank you so much for having us out here. We look forward to finding some new homes for these wonderful pieces and introducing them to the world.
Well, thank you, and thank you very much.
Very welcome.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.